Should I run it back?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's just run it from here. We're kind of pushed on time, so let's just make it happen.
Sounds
okay?
good.
So welcome back, week 9. Thank you very much for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. Let's just skip introductions because everyone knows you guys. Like,
I want to say I was bamboozled here. I got tricked because Silent told me he's going to stream. He's going to podcast, and Patrick told me he's going to podcast. So I'm like, all right, if my brother is going to podcast, for sure. But I got ditched.
And then he quit.
I got bamboozled too. I'll say this: I was told Thompson and Ken Baller were going to be on podcast.
Yes.
And
yes.
now it's Ryuufin, so I feel
bamboozlery.
I feel cheated.
You know,
wow,
I'm happy.
Why is that? Why is that? Why do you feel that I'm here? I got pulled in last minute. I was supposed to do some food shopping.
I'll be honest. I didn't know who was supposed to be on this week. I just show up and I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? But yeah, let's jump right into it. We're gonna skip the first thing we were planning on doing, that RTA thing. We can do that another time. But let's just jump right into it. So topic 1, new season, post balance patch, post special league. How do you guys feel about new units? What do you think is good? What do you think is really weak now? Let's talk about Jeogun, how strong he is. But yeah, if anyone wants to just jump in.
I think Jeogun makes like the turn 2 meta really rough, man. Like now, if you're not like if you're trying like taking second turn is a fun ideal. Like I've been practicing trying to take second turn, but it's getting harder and harder. There are a few units that will kind of aid the second turn team, but those units are very limited. There's like Juno, Diana, Josephine, Haegang, and that's about it. But those units, Ragdoll, yeah, but you know, not everybody has that. But
that's true.
Very limited.
Second turn team is rough. It's really rough. Like I played a tournament this weekend, and I played against Gia, and for some reason, Gaia. For some reason, Gaia, he wanted to play second turn against me, and there was just no chance. And then the second guy I played was this Gundam guy, and he tried to take first turn against me, and he succeeded. He succeeded because he had a swift Yeonhong, and I just got wrecked. I couldn't even stand a chance. And the second time I beat him, like the Gundam guy, the second game, it was just like I brought a whole bunch of second turn units and got lucky. But yeah, second turn, I think Jeogun makes the second turn meta really rough. Especially like it really nerfs Verde, you know? People have to think twice before they play Verde.
I love having Jeogun versus Verde and Juno. When they pick Juno and Verde, it's so easy.
Yeah. It pretty much blocks out like 2 turns.
And you know exactly like, well, if it's a triple revenge Verde, it's going to get scrolled. If it's a Juno, it's going to get scrolled because who puts a will on Juno?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Jeogun's really good right now. You just got to be careful what comps you run, because if you end up running comps that have no damage, again, Jeogun's not going to provide any of that. I mean, he does give attack buff, which helps with the damage a little bit, but again, if you're a total support team, you're going to have a little trouble even with the attack buff. So just be careful, like, relying too much on Jeogun, because scroll is scroll, but if you don't do anything impactful during the 2 turns they're scrolled for, you're kind of falling behind slowly anyway.
It's kind of cool though, because it pushes the additional damage meta even further, because it's like, oh, now you get speed buff to go along with your like insanely fast units already.
Yeah,
but it's funny because like the balance patch was designed so that people could have turn 2, because they made all the turn 2 units like have stronger turn 2. Like Josephine passive buff, for example, was really good. And then they were like, oh yeah, and here's Jeogun to stop every single one of them. Sick.
You know, I do notice.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryu.
All right, I do notice the Oki nerf though a little bit. The damage is not there, and then I miss more stuns lately because it's not what it's 5 to 8, right? 5 to 8 hits.
4 to 6 instead of 3 to 5, right?
Yeah, I notice it. I notice like I'm missing more on water units because you're not having enough hits to bypass the
RNG.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think with Oki, back then the way you build them is speed, HP, accuracy with H artifacts for damage. But nowadays it has to be on crit damage. For me, I mean, along with like Chung Pong or whatever armor breakers you have ahead, Oki still does a lot of damage on crit damage.
He still does
Especially, like,
damage, but he has to be
rate
on
as
crit
well.
damage now. Like if he's just on the artifacts, it's not going to do enough because it's, you know, you have a chance to literally get half the hits you would get before, you know. So
Yeah, I
if you're
think
doing
so.
3,000 a hit, it's 9,000 versus 18,000, right?
He's
Yeah,
more
it's
like a
pretty
cleave
significant.
now.
He's like he's like the fast cleave unit now, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
you
mean,
gotta
he's
really
still
utilize
good.
the
He's still
crit awakening.
usable because nobody else does what he does. You know what I mean? He does something that no other unit could really replace.
Mhm.
So he's still good in that sense. It's just he's damage is lowered and the stun is less, not as effective now. That's all.
I want to talk more about the second turn team. A lot of the second turn team is like very predicated on just like having a single like one attack. The only unit that doesn't do one attack is like Juno. So I mean, like, Juno is drafted almost every game. You know, you see either Juno on my side or your side. But other than Juno, like, the second turn teams got nerfed pretty hard because like there's just units that depend on crit rate, and now if like you miss a crit, it's so painful. Your Juno missed a crit, your Jaeger missed a crit, like your Acroma misses a crit. It's really painful, right? And now it takes so much stats to add crit rate because you can only really get crit rate.
I mean, to be fair to that statement though, the whole crit rate change thing, like, it makes it harder for the speed teams too, because if you're so focused on putting speed, where do you get the subs to put crit rate? You know what I mean? So you end
But
up
a lot of
missing
these
a lot of crits now.
a lot of these units that like AoE, like Jeogun, he does the buff, and then Okeanos goes in, he does multi-hit, and then Sierra goes in, she has multi-hit, and then Chongpeng goes in, he has multi-hit. Like, a lot of these units have like multi-hit. So I don't know. I think the multi-hitters, along with high HP and artifacts, still benefits more versus like versus the second turn team. They're like one attack, like Josephine, Ragdoll. Like, Jaeger is like pretty bad right now. I think like Meiho Wang is pretty bad right now too. Like, you can't depend on him to go the second turn and take you there. You know.
I mean, did you depend on Meiho Wang before? I mean, I didn't think he was that good.
I'm
before, right?
practicing. I'm trying to learn how to go second turn.
Okay.
Mio Wang was okay before, but now he just takes too much damage from everything. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Because of
but like,
artifacts.
imagine the proper bruiser need about like 80% crit rate or something like that. I don't even know, but like, it's hard to get 80%. Ideally, like, where are you gonna put crit rate at? Like, you're gonna put crit rate on slot 2. You're gonna put crit rate maybe on slot 1, and that's about it. You know, maybe on slot 3. Yeah, but 4 you can't really have crit rate. 5
Yeah,
you can't really have crit rate.
You're lucky. It's just your innate stats on like 4, 5, and 6, basically.
Yeah,
It's, like, it's not really enough.
yeah.
But I think the hardest thing is, so there's this shift and change from like these units that were like these turn 2 bruiser units. A lot of them awaken into speed, which is why like they were kind of better. Like Meiho Wang is better. What was okay because he had the speed awakening, so he could contest like other stats there. And same with the Chroma. But the problem is now is like those single hit units, you know, that speed awakening isn't as beneficial as the crit rate awakening as they actually need, because if they don't crit, they don't do anything, right? And then on top of that, all these units that have these speed awakenings generally have high base defense. So you bring up Meiho Wang, you bring up a Chroma, they both have 747 base defense, which is like a higher shift. Their base attack is sub 700. So what happens is these really tanky units get shredded because additional damage just ignores it, right? They don't care about defense. It's fixed true damage. So it's like, it's really, really overpowered, I think. And I'm usually pretty hesitant on saying something is like broken, overpowered. Usually I'm like, it's pretty strong and it's like reasonable, but additional damage really just rips through a lot of things in the game, and it causes a lot of things to become really trivial. Even defense buff is really trivial now.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you have units like Fran and stuff with the additional damage that end up hitting for, 2,500 as a healer, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big problem, Like, you're
Mm.
at
That was
like
pretty
20%
prevalent
HP, you're
in
not safe,
it was pretty prevalent, especially when we noticed that with like the quad supports with multi hits.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it was
like
cool,
especially
but
it was all additional damage and tank people out.
it was cool, but I kind of, it feels bad when you lose to 4 supports. But
That's
that,
why
but
you come to especially, Ryuufin.
yeah. But I'm saying, like, I was just talking about like just going on the additional damage thing. But this league, like, this season, I currently like it because I'm actually not losing to turn 2 teams. Out of like I'm looking through the last 10 replays, right? The only 2 I lost was to someone else beating me. That was it.
But that goes to say like there's this one unit like WaterRyu. It's like it's either you pick WaterRyu and you get turn 1 because I think like everyone in G3 has like a plus 220-ish WaterRyu. So it's either they put the passive set on their WaterRyu, right? It's either like they pick WaterRyu and you get Oki and a bunch of second turn units, or you get WaterRyu and you go first. So it's like it's whoever gets WaterRyu takes first turn, and then the second team just picks a lot of like Juno, Leo, and stuff like that. It's kind of that's the meta, I think.
I think mine's
see
built a little
WaterRyu,
different.
Shungpeng, and then Jeogun, and then on the other side you see Juno, Okeanos, like.
Yeah, it's either like if they pick WaterRyu, you pretty much committed to taking second turn, you know.
Well, if you have both, right? Do you put your fastest set on Jeogun or WaterRyu? Mine's on
WaterRyu, 100%. No, WaterRyu.
Because my WaterRyu gets banned, like most of the time.
Then you have speed lead and then another unit,
Well, I have
right?
the other speed lead, so.
I don't think Jeogun has to be as fast, only because like WaterRyu should go first because he pushes attack bar back, right? But Jeogun doesn't push attack bar back. You have to follow up a unit.
Well, he's
right
looking
after
at
Jeogun when he
it
gets up.
in the sense of not getting revenge by Verde that way.
Yeah. Well, like, because my setup was my current setup is Jogun's the fastest. I put my fastest set on him, and then the second fastest is WaterRyu, because what I noticed like was starting like the first 2 days was that every single time I pick WaterRyu, he instantly gets banned. Or
Sounds
like
about right.
or it was either WaterRyu or Han. That's it. Those are the two like bans on my end that they ban, and then Jeogun does the thing because they're either picking second turn teams and then they get scrolled. I'm like, okay, doesn't really matter. Like they're actually still slower because I have speed buff from my they get stripped. My Nephthys goes second, and then Oki goes right after with the speed buff.
I mean, if you have a fast enough Nephthys to follow up right after your Jeogun, then you're fine. But it's hard to have the rune quality to follow up a really fast Jeogun after a unit. Because all Jeogun does is strip. And then there's Haegang too. Because like Haegang is a big problem. If you put your fastest rune on Jeogun, they pick Haegang, you're 100% banned, right?
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about like people's WaterRyu builds? Do you guys feel like have you seen people shifting more towards like running Will on it and stuff? Because I've seen a couple people running like really fast with Gannies again and really fast like Eschers to kind of take the turn in front and then move with their team. You know, if he gets reset, it's not like as strong. Or if you can get the Sierra bomb on him right away, do you feel like it's just run speed, or do you think like possibly slowing it down a couple speed for Will is starting to become more relevant?
I think 100% just like try to make him as fast as possible because he also has his passive, right? And then like the units you want with like the higher with Will would probably be Jeogun or Haegang. Those units need Will for sure.
Mine's broken. Oh yeah, Will's,
yeah. I also
mine's
run broken.
setup,
Just,
yeah.
like Will, I think Will is really good if you can get it, but I'm not sure if it's like, is it worth giving up like let's say like 5 speed to get Will?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I like the extra like 5, 10 speed. You know, if it is.
I mean, there's always ways to like manipulate how you could protect yourself not being on Will, right? So you know if there's a Ganny, the chances are he's probably faster than you. If there's an Escher, it's probably faster than you. You could always ban them, or you could ban their speed leads so they can't have that. You know what I mean? And if they pick Ganny and Escher, they probably lost anyway, so it doesn't matter if he outspeeds you. You know, so there's a lot of ways to manipulate protecting your Ryu not being on Will.
Oh, Thompson,
I probably have the slowest one, and it's still not on Will. You know what I mean?
Oh, Thompson, have you been using or tried to do a second turn with Arda? I haven't been doing anything like that.
Yeah, I think this weekend I was able to go like speed lead and whatever, and then end up with on the 4 and 5 spot I picked like Molly Arda, and it was okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to figure out because I haven't.
Sometimes Arda and Dana is really good because sometimes the opponent overdrafts like speed units, and they're like a little bit they don't deal enough damage. You know, like the Samath or like the Ashirs, maybe even the WaterRyus, and they don't draft enough damage in there, and you could fit in the Dianas and the Artemils in there. And
so for Diana, since you brought up Diana, like Diana builds, have you played around with a whole bunch of different builds yet, or do you just?
There's only one build for Diana. There's no other
damage, right?
No, there's only one build for Diana. There's no other builds for Diana. because damage on artifacts is a thing, and I tested damage already. Crit damage and damage on artifacts, you rather go with damage on artifacts. Plus, damage on artifacts is more defense. Unless in the special occasion where you have an armor broken unit, then for sure the crit damage one is a lot better. But 90% of the time, I don't have the crit. I don't have like crit armor broken units, and Dana goes. Usually I'm getting the one controlled, and like Dana's just coming back from behind.
So yeah, what are you thinking then? Are you thinking like crit rate HP or
100% crit rate HP, and just like speed has to be good, and then just put a lot of artifacts on her, and she does so much damage.
Well, could you fit in a crit damage build while having enough like stats in general?
You have to give up something if you run crit damage.
There's
Like
no way.
my Diana runs like 180 crit damage with 18% additional damage by attack, but she has no defense. So it's like the trade-off of like you give up something for crit damage.
No, because I keep forgetting
really
that
good
you
on
need to have 100% crit and
The problem is
not
you don't have the
flat there,
defense and the tanky stats on Diana. If they it's a very common unit to get tunneled. And if you get tunneled, you're not getting a turn, just die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious on your thoughts between like artifacts and crit damage. Some people swear by like crit damage and artifacts.
I already
and some
tested
people
it for
swear
you.
by artifacts.
I already tested it for you, Dana. There's only one build for Dana. It's a fast Dana with artifacts on speed. That's the only way.
You don't like artifacts on attack?
No. Artifacts on speed, man. The artifacts on speed scales better.
Okay.
Crit damage is still good, but a lot of people I guess it just does what Dana does, but the crit rate one is really scary. Just test it out. You'll see it deals about the same damage.
Well, the addition to HP gets nerfed too because she loses HP.
That's why you run additional by attack instead. If you're gonna go attack versus HP, it has to be attack because it's worth more. But speed, it always depends on how fast you are, right? Like if you're fast enough, speed is definitely gonna be really strong.
Speed.
So are you thinking like when you say like a fast crit rate Dino, are you talking like 250 or are you talking like?
All my units are around like 280-ish, 270-ish.
So even Diana being in that range?
Yeah. I show my stream. Everyone knows my Diana. Everyone see it. I'm the exposer.
It's pretty fast.
It's okay.
It's pretty fast. I've never seen a 280 Diana. Well,
Neither I. I believe it though. I believe it. Additional damage by speed on 280.
I've never seen a 280 anything.
Oh my god.
The struggles, man. It hurts sometimes. It does.
My Yeonhong has 116 base speed and she's not 280.
I'm sure she's.
Have you tried the Swift Yeonhong as well, Patrick? That people
I have not, but I've been thinking about it.
Yo, I've been getting
popular.
I've been getting wrecked by the tournament. I got wrecked by Swift Yeonhong, and then I got queued into Topa, and I didn't know he had Swift Yeonhong, and he wrecked me as well. I was like, oh shit, man.
Yeah, it started up in like I think the last month of the last season. People started running Swift Yeonhong so they could take turn ones against like everyone.
It started last year. Did
it really? Like popularity wise, or just like in the top?
Yeah, popularity wise. Ever since
all the high G3s are Swift Yeonhongs.
Yeah, all of them. But like the Swift Yeonhong I played against, like the Gundam guy, was on fucking. It was on Will. Like what the heck?
No Gannies. No,
it was really fast. It was really fast.
Oh yeah, because during the tournament, before the tournament, I showed Patrick and David because we were playing a team format. I showed them my units, and they're like, "Yo, your units are pretty fast, Thompson. Holy, it outsped me." I'm just like, all right. If it outspeed me, I'll lose like that. That's fine. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna tell you how fast Thompson's Ryu is, but that Yeonhong was mad fast. I'll just tell you it was mad fast.
Yeah, I believe
it was faster than
really fast.
If I put my runes aren't a good example. If I put my best set on it, I'd be short by a lot.
What is your fastest Swift on a Yeonhong?
Be crazy.
I never tried it.
If
I had to guess, my fastest possible Yeonhong would be maybe like 320, 320.
325 is pretty reasonable. 116 base, right?
325, something like that.
325. That's
maybe. I don't know. I really haven't done it.
For people who are running like these Swift Yeonhongs, are they running like damage, or is it mostly? Like,
well, I asked Thompson that, and they said they're all on damage, which is like even more impossible for me to do.
All on damage.
Yup. Yeah, it just doesn't awaken into accuracy or crit or anything.
I think it's time to start reapping crit damage Swift sets.
I've been doing it for months, bro. What's this problem?
Oh, I don't know. You could be
it's hard.
You could be reapping.
It's really hard.
Other stuff.
Everything's hard, bro. You understand? Like my last fucking 4 months of reapps, the fastest thing I got is 17 for the last 4 months.
That's rough. 212. something. A lot of re-ups. That's rough.
I never missed one, even the Magic Shop ones I buy. So you tell me how many. I don't know how many. And then the
That's a
special packs that had them.
Yeah, it's close to 300. It's probably close to 300 in 4 months. That's pretty rough.
17 speed. That's my fastest one. No bullshit. Had it 3
Re-ups are
times.
re-ups are pain, to be honest. You get lucky or you don't get lucky. It's harder than a casino.
I've never gotten lucky. It's worse than a casino for sure.
Yeah, at least at a casino you can win.
I think if I have a casino, I go to a casino with no eyes, I have better odds than fucking re-ups.
Well, you could have had the casino today with a Dogecoin.
Oh man,
Okay, I made some money on Dogecoin, so I'm
I
happy.
think a good amount of people have been making some money on it. Okay, so we talked about how the turn 2 is pretty weak. We talked about Jeogun. We talked about WaterRyu, Swift, Yeonhong. Is there anything else you guys have been seeing that's like kind of different than usual? That's pretty strong right now, or things to watch out for?
I think the 1 and 2 slot is still going to be like WaterRyu and Okeanos, and then where the 3 and 4 is just like speed lead and something else. So I haven't seen anything really crazy.
The thing
Unless you have like the black and white.
The thing you have to understand about this game is it doesn't matter what unit you have. It doesn't matter what runes you have. The only thing that matters in this game, and it's gotten to this point, this game only matters how lucky you are. It does not matter that Thompson's 20 speed faster than me on every unit. If I proc 6 times, he procs 0, Thompson dies. It makes no difference. Luck, right now, luck supersedes all other elements in this game because they put so many luck units in. And
there's a unit that people kind of have questioned ruining now. Is either like it's the Verde, right? The Verde is has been in meta for like the past year, and like it's either like should I put the Verde on Will Revenge, or just like triple revenge and just like pray for luck. I've been testing it. The Will one almost never revenges. I don't know how it works for you guys, but the Will double revenge doesn't work that well. So I went with the triple revenge max resist one. That one's good. For some reason, like the Jeogun, the skill 2 doesn't really land too hard. I don't know why. At least the Jeogun I play, because like the Jeogun I play, they try to skill 2 my
you must have fought me a lot, bro.
The Jeogun I play tries to skill 2 a lot of the max resist units and misses a lot. So I like the max resist revenge Verde, triple revenge.
Well,
yeah.
Are you thinking the Jeoguns are not max accuracy?
Because I don't know. I think it's max accuracy. I'm just getting lucky.
No, I don't mean nothing, man. Max accuracy, bro. Don't talk about these stupid.
No, because look at
I just feel like if you rather have Verde on triple revenge or 2 revenge set, triple revenge is still more worth it in more scenarios.
So I had a situation in the beginning where my Jeogun was only 50% accuracy, and I only put an accuracy artifact slot 3, skill 3 accuracy one, just to get the strips off. But I noticed that my skill 2 scroll was actually missing a lot until I just decided like, oh screw it, I'm just gonna put a slot 3 accuracy and just put additional damage, whatever. And then I've noticed that I could have missed one, but like majority of my battles, like scroll 2 work.
All my units are always max accuracy. The ones that need max resist are always max resist. They fucking do nothing, okay?
So
that's why it goes back to what I'm trying to say. My previous point, this game is all predicated on luck. Luck's, of course, runes help. Of course, monsters help. Luck supersedes all of that, though. Like a perfect example. I fought a C2 guy the other day, right? His runes are clearly not even close to mine. Not even close. His Antares went 6 turns in a row. As in, proc, I move, proc, I move, proc, literally 6. Okay, there's video clip of it if you want to see, if you don't believe it. He kills off 2 of my units, right? There's nothing anybody could do to counter that kind of luck. You understand? I don't care who you are, what your runes look like. If somebody gets lucky like that, you're going to lose. So luck is such a big part. If Verde revenges, you're going to win. If Verde doesn't revenge, you're going to lose. If Chung Pung strips, you're going to win. If Chung Pung misses, you're going to lose. If Oki stuns, you win. Oki doesn't stun, you lose. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's
like,
a few other
every unit is the best unit in the game when it works.
I think there's a few other units we could talk about. There's Veromos. And people, you know my comp. I have like the Nefties, the Jeanne, and stuff like that. And people bring in Veromos against me a lot. But I think Veromos is still like a really not that good of a unit.
Because he doesn't do enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I heard there's actually either a bug or a miswording of the passive. If
Oh,
he's
okay.
CC'd, he
That's
doesn't
why.
actually gain attack bar, right?
I don't know. I just know it doesn't.
So from my understanding, and I watched a clip on it this morning. From my
Yeah.
understanding, when you cleanse, you're supposed to gain attack bar based on how many debuffs you didn't cleanse. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay. And in the clip that I watched, because he was stunned, he didn't gain any attack bar. And I don't know if that's like a bug or if that's just like a misrepresentation.
Can you link
of how they're
the video? Because
supposed to be.
I haven't seen it.
I'll
use
link it to
Veromos,
you
I
after
use
the
it
fight.
The
heavily.
problem is, even if he gets bar, he doesn't do anything. Is the problem?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because even if you get like an instant second turn, like
You
if
get a
there's
turn,
enough
okay,
debuff
you get
on
to
you,
auto
you're
attack.
fine,
You know,
right?
like he
Yeah, if
doesn't
he
do
doesn't
anything is
strip
the problem.
the heal block either, so his healing doesn't actually even do anything, because he only strips one, right? So there's a ton of debuffs, lots of dots, and he only strips one dot on each guy, and then
But he doesn't
Yeah.
strip the most important one.
Yeah, I know.
which is, inability effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe if that was a thing.
Oh, it's
Maybe
after
maybe-
he attacks. I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I honestly think they should change that to be.
Yeah. Like I said, the
to
biggest
be, like,
problem
on
is
his
once
unit
again
turn.
in RTA you have 4 units. All 4 units have to be impactful in their own way, or you lose. You know what I mean? It's the same thing why like you don't see Molly's picked as much, because Molly is not impactful enough. If Molly doesn't go crazy, and even when she does go crazy, sometimes she still takes up a slot where it's not really doing anything. You have to be impactful.
I want to go back to that. There was a Molly that I almost lost to because my Han didn't crit enough.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
well,
same thing
well,
with
that's what I'm
Tourny
saying.
and
That was just
Aaron,
my
right?
random
It's like
RNG
you
thing.
pick
when
that
it works,
unit-
you know,
Yeah.
when
pick
it
that
works,
unit
it's
because
great.
you want to luck sack somebody, right? Like you
Right.
pick that unit because you're praying for the luck to hit, because if it hits, it's extremely impactful. It's not just like a little bit, right? It's
No,
like
exactly.
Antares procs 3 times in a row. You
Yeah.
glance 3 times on Molly on your first turn. Yeah, that's very impactful and very, very
Which goes back to my previous statement. This game is all based on luck. Every unit is the best unit in the game when it works, is all I could tell you. You know, when everything does what it's supposed to do, it's the greatest. What's better than the new water girl when she gets to throw back a bomb, a stun, a armor break, anti-heal? Nothing is better when she works. But when she doesn't get a turn or she throws it back and everything misses, she's the worst unit in the game. You know, what's better than Viva Shell Leo? People ask me all the time, why don't you pick Viva Shell? Okay. I said, how am I going to get my skill off? Oh, do it with Leo. That's Kenji videos. In the real world, they ban one.
I think in this meta, it's really hard to use that water girl because, like, just like those, Onimuji, what are they called? Onimujis, right?
Omniojis.
Oniojis, like,
Yeah.
just the Omniojis, they don't do multiple hits. Same with Viva Shell, they don't do multiple hits. So it really just puts them in a position where they're tanky, but they don't deal much damage. And the good units in this meta are like the multi-hitters that, could do
Or
something.
tanky. Or the multi-hitters that are tanky.
And tanky, yeah. So,
Which is the same reason why you don't see things like Triana and stuff much anymore. You know, Triana was good because she did a lot of damage and she was a very tanky protective support, you know? Now, Triana, no matter how you build her, it's not going to do more than a 3-hit Praha, a 3-hit Juno, a 3-hit Fran. You know, so it's like, why do you need Triana now? She does nothing compared to the other multi-hitters, you know? That's the reason why you don't see Trianas anymore, which in turn, because the meta is so speed now too, it makes Viva Shell technically a no passive Triana. So if you're not using a Triana with a good passive, why are you going to use a Viva Shell that has no passive? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. To go along with what you were saying about the violent procs, I think that like the only thing I would consider more impactful than like procking a lot is honestly 15% resist. Like if you're resisting people like repeatedly, it's so hard to come back, even if you're procking. Like you need to just be ripping through them with damage. Like if you miss 2 or 3 debuffs or like 2 or 3 bombs or something, or like 2 or 3 strips, like the game just gets so hard so fast. Right? Like missing one is
it's fantastic. I mean, when you build your stuff 100 resist and it actually resists, is the greatest feeling in the world, you know? The worst feeling is when you reset 3 times, you're stunned 4 times on Lulu and on Water Omiyuji, You know what I'm saying? They're all 100 resist, you know, and you're just CC, you're stunned, you're sleeping, you're frozen, you're debuffed, you're reset. Like, what did I put 100 resist for? I could just put 8,000 more HP and stayed alive a little longer, you know? If I was going to be stunned anyway, I might as well stay alive longer and be stunned.
I've said
You know,
this
that's the
before
frustrating thing. So it's RNG. Everything's so RNG in this game. And all they keep doing is introducing more RNG units to counter the previous RNG units that just make this game into even more RNG now. It's literally all RNG. You have Antares because Diana's RNG, right? You have units to stop Verde. Instead of fixing Verde, they're putting units to turn on Verde, which makes it more RNG. Everything is just RNG in this game. There really is no listen. I don't have the best rune to count, but I do have access to all the elemental monsters, okay? And I could tell you that I played this game long enough and I'm pretty knowledgeable. I very rarely will ever get outdrafted, but I very frequently lose. And that tells you that the luck is just incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's how many games I fight Leo, Verde, and Terrace. Leo, Verde, and Terrace, Diana. Leo, Verde, and Terrace, Diana. I fight these comps all day long, and I lose because of special circumstances. Listen, if you outspeed me, you cleave me, you outspeed me, you CC me, I deserve that loss. I don't get mad at those. I get mad when I go first, I'm dominating, and then proc, and I'm dead. And then it's like, what the fuck just happened to me? You know what I mean? So I get punished for working harder than everybody else. You know what I mean? That part of the game is what's killing it for me at this point, you know? It's just they just keep making more luck units to counter the previous luck units instead of fixing or getting rid of the previous luck units. Like Miho, right? Why do I fight a Miho when all my team has less than 40 crit rate and I can't kill a Miho? How's that possible? But because of RNG, you know? Multi-hitters with all sub 40 crit rate. I can't kill a Miho. For some reason that game. Magic. You know what I mean? Like fucking magicians. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's just too much luck. Like it took out all the skills out of this game, all the rune advantages from farming harder, spending harder, whatever you want to call it, has been taken out of the game. It's literally luck is still number one. Yes, good runes help. Yes, going first helps. Yes, having good LDs helps. But if you're not lucky, you will lose with any comp. Every comp is susceptible to losing.
I don't know about you, but like I have this weird thing. Like when I lose to like because usually when I lose and the opponent will know, like if I lose to like RNG or if I beat them in draft and I lose that way, usually the opponent knows. And like when that happens and you lose, I don't feel bad. I really don't. I don't know how's it like that with you guys. Like if you're doing that happens all the time. I do RTA match and like all of a sudden,
let me respond to you, Thompson.
Yeah.
When you only lose 20% of your matches, you never get mad. When you lose like 40% and then you got to lose 20% more because of stupid shit, then you get mad. And
there are times where like I lose more, and when I lose, but I feel like I drafted correctly or I got RNG like crazy, like all of a sudden the Lulu proc or like my Gianna AoE missed a strip. I don't mind it. I was just like, oh, all right, like you know.
Yeah, I don't care when I draft bad and lose. I don't care when I get out ruined and I lose. I don't care when I get out united and I lose. I get mad when the guy just goes, oh shit, I don't know what to pick. Oh, Leo Verde. Oh, Verde and Terrace. Just random. Also, like, it doesn't even fit the comp. It makes no sense. But he's just honestly going in there trying to luck me. You know what I mean?
Well, right now, like what I was saying earlier, when you draft WaterRyu, WaterRyu takes like the spot of 2 units. He's like a damage dealer. Also, he's a speed lead and a stripper, right? So then, like when you draft WaterRyu, the pressure on the other team is to pick like Leo against you or Triple Revenge Verde to make up for the speed lead they're missing and the stuff that WaterRyu is doing. That's why WaterRyu is really strong. Yes, what's up?
He's a disruptor. He's a disruptor too.
Yeah. Like WaterRyu, that slot, he's taking up 2 units. You have to pick like Sierra and like another stripper to make up for 1 unit. So like it's really hard for them not to pick, like if you're picking WaterRyu or you're picking like a speed unit, it's really hard for them not to pick like Verde and Leo into you because like that's the only thing that could bring them back.
That's really funny because like when you said that, that's exactly what I do too. Like if I see someone draft the WaterRyu against me, my first 2 picks is Sierra and I pick Wind Oki, forgot his name, Triton. And I
Triton.
don't. I honestly,
takes
I
two.
don't like. I like. I
Okay.
don't like Triton.
Right? No. But like Triton's
like
fast stuff. But
It's fast. Yeah.
WaterRyu, you have to pick Sierra and Oki to
Yeah.
match the WaterRyu. It's like you're way back already, you know?
Yeah.
Then, like,
I refuse. I have not once this season picked Verde. You know that? Because I refuse. I'd rather lose than to be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to be an asshole. That's it. I refuse to try and get lucky. Well, first of all, I'm not lucky. You know, it's just honestly, I just know it's not going to proc anyway. That's part of the reason why I don't pick it, to save myself some anger. See, if I pick triple revenge, if I don't pick triple revenge Verde, I'll never know when he doesn't revenge, so I never have to get mad. You know what I mean? It's just better that way. It's better for my mental health.
Go
It's
Violent
better
Will.
for my stream health. You know, to just not pick it.
Just go Violent Will. Then you'll never have to revenge. Then people always think that it's on triple revenge, and you can just do what you want.
Yeah, that's true.
So
They- they-
Fuck it.
Here, I want to go back to Patrick's point before about the thing what he's talking about with especially with resistance. Like I mentioned this before, like when the artifacts came out, and since the fact that resistance is always capped, and accuracy like pushes a resistance away, right? Resistance is kind of useless. Resistance kind of useless, especially with artifacts. The fact that you don't need to have slot 3 accuracy. You could get enough accuracy with just artifacts. And then like there's a point where the really resistance, there's no reason to have resistance at all.
I don't know. I think if you're able to get resistance, also other stats, resistance is not bad of a stat.
I mean,
also,
even your argument, Ryu.
Of like if you're screaming someone like a span of like 10 games, you put a lot of pressure on them to have to bring units of max accuracy, or they're not going to land, or they have a chance to not land. Also, it's kind of like the same way with speed. Like if your speed is really fast and you're drafting against someone else, it puts a lot of pressure on them. Like every game, they have to worry about, okay, Thompson has like a plus 220 set, or so on, right? Like it puts a lot of pressure on them if you have like units with max accuracy. They can't like style on you, or like in a span of like 10 sets or game up to like best of 5. It makes a difference.
Well, here's my point. Like, so let's say you have your monsters are all max accuracy, and facing someone who's 100% accuracy, resistance. Sorry, 100% resistance. That person with max accuracy is still 15% chance to resist, right? So but then let's say on the flip side, since you always have max accuracy, the person who has max resist now would just say, well, I'm not going to build any monsters with any accuracy anymore. I still have the same exact chance to resist, versus I could just have more stats. So right, like the mind game comes in is that I don't have to build anything, or I don't have to use resistance anymore. I just build more stats.
I could tell you,
I could put in a term you'll understand, Ryu, because I know you disagree on this if I tell you about this. The best defense in siege defense is the one with like, Tessarion lead, or like whatever resistance lead, and all your units are on max accuracy, max resistance, right? Because it puts a lot of pressure on the other person to like, what if it resists the proc? And like in RTA, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I get you. No, I get your point, because my counterpoint is that we know that when we build siege defenses with max accuracy, we know that a lot of people don't build their offensive units with max accuracy.
Well, that's the same thing. Like not everyone in G3 has like a max accuracy Josephine, or a max accuracy like other unit where you could punish them. And in a span of like one or two games, like in a span of 1 or 2 games, it wouldn't matter, because like it's iffy. You play one person one time or two times. But in a span of like 5-10 games, the resistance starts kicking in. You'll see a difference.
My assumption is that most like I would assume like top 100 players all time in like thing would have max accuracy on their most important units. Well, except like here's an example with Sierra, Josephine, right? But stuff like Triton, Jeogun.
You'd be surprised, right, Eugene? Because a lot of people, they gimp out like accuracy for speed. So like it could be like 70 accuracy, but like plus 220 speed, you know? Okay. But it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent.
All
like,
I know is I've ran 3 seasons straight of all the important units on max accuracy, and there's been nights, many nights, and you could ask my viewers, that the whole night, 30 wings, not one time did Chung Pong land every strip. I know it's a lower chance to hit, I get it. Not one time did Oki land 4-man stun. Not one game in 30 wings, multiple nights it happened. Okay, and they're all on max accuracy. Ryu never max stripped everybody. It's on max accuracy. So it's like all this stuff, again, it goes back to luck, is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, you could build your account, give yourself the best opportunities, but when it comes to luck, nothing supersedes luck in this game. Nothing. There is nothing that could beat luck unless you have the fastest cleave that's guaranteed to wipe out 2 units before every other team moves. There's no way to out luck. You cannot outskill luck. It's impossible. Because at the end of the day, whoever procs more, whoever lands stuff, whoever crits is going to win. Listen, you have plenty of times where you're winning the game. You need to crit and you win. You don't crit. Then what? Then you actually lose the game. Because that one moment you need to crit, you didn't crit. You didn't kill the Annabelle, let's say, and she heals up the whole team. You didn't crit the Yeonhong and she boosts up and then you screwed. You know, it happens. You need to land one bomb on Sierra, right? All you do is bomb the Velojewel or something and you win. And you miss the bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these simple things. You need to strip everybody so your Chung Punk can reset them. And the one thing you don't strip is what? The most important thing always.
Also,
right?
a lot of people feel like active resistance is a fake stat because maybe resistance will work once, maybe it'll work twice, but a lot of times people pick max resistance unit and then they complain, and they're complaining because like they're getting double strip, double CC, and like bombed. Like yes, it will strip, like maybe it will resist strip, but it's not gonna resist like everything. It's not gonna work like every single time. Like it'll maybe strip it'll maybe take a strip and not take a AoE. But if you're drafting and you're picking that resist unit into like a whole team of CC, you're still gonna get CC'd,
I think a big factor to like the generally when people play RTA, I would say a lot of people don't play like a ton of RTA. Like there are not that many players who actually play 1,000 wings per season, right? And so these people who don't play 1,000 wings per season, a lot of the time you look at matches, you do like 5 matches in a day and you get resisted like in 4 of your 5 matches. So you're like, man, I got absolutely fucked over and over and over. And they don't look at it in like the span of like, okay, in these 30 wings I did today, how did it look like overall, right? And then it's like, okay, and then in the 100 wings, how did it look overall? Like, do these actually like reach kind of reasonable levels? So a lot of the time it's like, it's really like you look at every individual match and it just becomes so much more amplified for like how you feel after each match. And like, it's totally fine and it's totally valid to look at it that way. But like, it's really hard to talk about like the actual statistics of landing things. Like when we talk about, WaterRyu landing strip, right? When we had Topo on the podcast last time, we talked about the actual percent chance to hit a 4-man strip. And it's like, it's not as high as we'd want it to be, but it's still pretty good, right? Or like when we talk about the chance to actually land, 4-man sleep, 4-man pushback with a Thor and stuff like that, right? The actual rates to hit these things are not nearly as high as we think they are. We just feel like they should be higher because when we look at those rates as well, we're also not taking into account the chance for every single instance to be 15% resisted.
Right. No, I agree with you, and 100%. I understand. And there has been times where I do amplify it without realizing, and I go back and look at it. It wasn't as bad as I portrayed it. But
I mean,
at the end of the day, like, I literally, if I knew how to make a fucking YouTube video, I'd probably be famous just from every night I stream RTA. You know what I mean? Like, anything bad that can happen will happen at all times, And it's really just mind-blowing that how it just happens to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like miraculous. You know what I mean? Like, I already expect the worst every time I play the game, and there's actually worse than I expect. You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible? Like, something more could happen that I already planned to happen to fuck me over. You know what I mean? Like, it's impressive. It's very enlightening every night I queue RTA.
Okay, I want to talk about 2 more things before we kind of like jump into anything else. There's 2 other units I wanted to talk about that I think are pretty strong right now, and I want your opinions on them. I think that pretty strong might be an overstatement. They're a lot better than they were. I think Nikki is a lot better than she was, and I think that FBison or Karnal is a lot stronger than he was before.
Agreed, dude. FBison, like I didn't even know what
I love that thing so much.
But like I remember Silent bringing FBison into the tournament this weekend, and he won with it. It did so much. Like it, everything absorbs attack bar, pushes attack bar back. It's already a plus. My
slow debuff as well and stuns.
Yeah, my issue with FBison is like it doesn't really land stuff. But I
Stun.
guess I have to like take another look at it, you know?
It's I think it's the 50% chance. It's just too low for a 3. It's
I have no
50%, yeah.
comment for those units. All I know is I'd rather see those two than Verde. Rather see those two than Leo. I'd rather see those two than Diana. And I have no problem fight. I will fight Nikki and Bison all day long. I'll take 30 wings of Nikki and Bison over 2 wings of Verde. End the story. That's my comment.
Like when I see the Karnal or Fire Bison versus an Oki, right? I'm expecting to get stunned by Oki, but not on my water units right now. But with Fire Bison, I don't really see that much stuns coming out.
You know what's the strength of Fire Bison? Whenever I see the Fire Bison I remember Silent drafted Fire Bison. The thing with Fire Bison is you just think that it won't land anything, so you don't ban it. And it goes through and it does everything, plus more than an Okeanos.
Here's my question. You want to know how strong they are?
Yeah.
Have you ever banned a Fire Bison or a Nikki in your life? That's how strong they are.
But-
Never. End the story. Next topic.
No, but they're good because you don't think they're the right ban is Fire Bison, but you don't want to
The
ban.
right ban is never Fire Bison.
Oh, okay, whatever. But yeah,
Isn't that kind of like the same thing as like when someone like last picks the Rika and you're like, okay, do I ban like?
Yo, Rika's a
Rika or
different
do I not
story,
ban
bro. Rika is a different
I honestly
story.
think Fire Bison is stronger than Rika now.
no, incorrect.
Mm,
No way.
I still pick
Stronger than
Rika.
Fire Bison that slot, CN.
If someone takes my
that's fair.
Oki,
It's
I'm
pretty
picking
good too.
Rika. That's my like usual like go to, like the last pick.
What Rika does that Fire Bison doesn't do is Rika has the chance to solo your team.
Yeah, skill
Fire
one,
Bison will
everything.
never kill your whole team by itself. Rika can get lucky enough that if she procs once or
Yeah.
twice, or if you have a Ganny, right? If you Ganny Bison, somebody Ganny's the Bison, you're not going to win, right? But if somebody Ganny's on a Rika, you're going to win with that Rika. Like you won. You're the man. If they Rika skill through you and Ganny gets to reset Rika to skill through you again, you're toasted. It's just like a SEMA. If a SEMA goes off, you're dead.
I don't think those two units are comparable because you put Fire Bison in like 3 or 4th slot, right? But then you put Rika in the 5 slot. You put CN in the 5 slot. That was what I was just thinking, you know.
I see what you mean when you say the Sion, like the Sion slot. Yeah, it makes sense to me. That makes sense. But yeah, what do you think about? I feel like Nikki is a lot better than she was. Like, I don't think she's like a top tier unit, but she's a lot stronger. And like you'll see her in a lot of games, I think, outside of top 100 for sure.
Nikki's good.
Doesn't Thompson have a
You
Nikki?
see the top 100 as well. Yeah.
Do you? She just does a lot of damage
No,
because like
Thompson
the
has a-
additional
Thompson
damage with
has
her
the
is
lore.
crazy.
Thompson
Yep.
has the better one, the one
You
they
have the
buffed.
Laura or the Nikki? Oh yeah, both.
He has Laura, the one they buffed.
I like you. You're always making lies. I got the
Thompson,
better one. I got Laura. Yes, I got the
you
better
think
one.
Laura skill 3
They
reduced the
also
attack
they
by
also
10%
buffed
per
another
hit.
Thompson unit recently. So all I've been praying for lately is I haven't been praying that I summon a new LD5. I've been praying for my brother Thompson to summon a light bison, so they'll buff it. So I get a little life, I get a little love out of it. You know. That's
Wait,
all.
don't you just want to be
that's all
getting
I've been praying
Yeonhong? You
for.
could be the buff Yeonhong gang.
I've been praying for
Isn't that-
Thompson. I've been praying for Thompson to get a light bison, so they'll buff another one of his units. So in turn, I get a little bit of a buff for once. You know, just that's what I've been hoping for lately. So I've really been praying for Thompson, not myself.
Trust though. Gelnir is getting buffed soon.
Gelnir's getting buffed only if Thompson gets one. You better hope he gets one. You better start praying for Thompson to get a Gelnir, because they buff all Thompson's units.
So what you're saying is I just need to pull what my first LD 5 just has to be one of Thompson's and we're good.
Yes,
Doesn't matter which one it
yes.
is. As long as
I'm
it's one of
Patrick
Thompson's,
done
I'm safe.
Is Patrick done pontificating
No,
yet?
I'm not I'm
Oh,
not
I'm
done.
just gonna leave. I'm just gonna go back because like I have a lot of bad LDs, but it's really hard not to buff one of my LDs. You know.
Look, I have an argument
You have a lot
for
of LDs.
Thompson.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Artemil got nerfed.
Yeah, I
Yep.
tell like
That's what I'm saying.
actually I don't let's not get into it. You just
Okay,
have
so
to-
let's take Thompson's statement and let's look on from the flip side, right? He has a lot of LDs, right? So isn't he just as susceptible to getting nerfed?
Boston nerfs. If you're done,
Not
I'm
really, because nerfs are much less common.
There's not much
Right.
on.
They nerf
Nerfs are,
fine.
nerfs are less common, I would say, for the most part. Like
Let's talk
things
about-
do
let's
get
talk
nerfed,
about-
but it's not very often.
Cool.
Sorry, you were saying Thompson? I
Let's
cut
talk
you
about
off there.
Boston nerfs. Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think
Anything else besides those units? Those were the last two that I wanted to bring up that I had on my list.
I think there was one unit that doesn't deserve a nerf. I mean, maybe back in the days it deserved a nerf, but what's that unit called? Jeanne. I think Jeanne's kit is very special. And like, if you could at least revert her back or add a little bit to her, she does a type of CC that's really special. But now with like the Verde meta and the Lauren meta back then, Jeanne was unusable, right? But hopefully they could like give those like some players some type of CC team to like make Jeanne a little bit better, you know?
I have a fix.
Yes.
Just diminish the stupid Vertihile thing. Vertihile ruins the whole game. Vertihile ruins the entire game. Vertihile by himself ruins the Summoner's War game.
You got Jeogun.
Literally. He ruins every comp in history.
You got Jeogun now.
Doesn't matter. He still ruins you, bro. They can't ban Jeogun. Jeogun, you pick him and he's yours forever, guaranteed.
There's a lot of units that need fixing, man. Like some of their units, it sucks because
a lot of units need fixing. I agree, but Vertihile single-handedly ruins how many things by himself.
But they nerfed Vertihile this patch.
Okay, before we continue on, I want to let you guys know we're about like 10 minutes to an hour. If you guys want to continue, I'm comfortable to just keep going, but I know you guys said that time is of the essence, so I just wanted to let you know if you want to do 10 minutes from now, we can call it in 10 minutes. Like continue your conversation about Verde.
Well, let's well, I mean, it's a pretty beating a dead horse. So we could open up questions for the community. I think that's
I do want to talk about buffs and nerfs, but
what if I like beating dead horses? Come on.
We can talk about we can just talk about buffs and nerfs, and then like as community questions come up, I'll just like write them down, and then
all right, sounds good.
We can bring them up. So yeah, I mean, continue what you want to talk about for buffs and nerfs.
But yeah, Verde single-handedly ruins the whole game, so he needs to be fixed.
Every time you nerf WaterRyu's absorb by 1%, 2%, or 3%, it really pushes up the rune quality of your team.
I feel like I'm in a spot where I get what Pat's saying. Like it is really annoying when you get that RNG revenge by Verde, but I'm just in that spot where I don't feel like it's that, because like they pick that, right, just to possibly win or lose. Well, I get what you're saying, but like I don't feel like he needs a nerf, because then that just kind of makes him like.
I want to say a fact. I think it's a fact. The best strippers in the game right now are water units.
Best strippers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But more importantly, Verde gives brain dead people an opportunity. Do you understand?
Yeah, I
you
get
don't
that.
need no brain. You understand? Like the whole point of RTA, the reason why you pick one unit, I pick two, you pick two, I pick two, you pick one, is because it's supposed to be a chess match. You literally can go and just pick two units like Verde and Antares and then pray to the gods. That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that is absolutely stupid.
The flip side is like if we just have this, like there's no counters to any speed stripping CC meta, then how do you counter besides just trying to steal someone else's draft or try to outspeed them? And there's times where
there's tons of units that give you opportunity to outspeed. Like, listen, I can outspeed some people with my shit runes because there's units like Yeonhong, Ganymede, Ashir, Wind Monkey. There's units like that allow you to utilize their base speeds and let you capitalize on other people. You don't have to pray and be brain dead and get lucky. Verde is for brain dead people. Leo is for skillless people. Verde's for brain dead people. You understand?
Can I present another point and ask what your opinion on it is?
Sure.
So you said specifically that RTA is designed to be like chess, and I feel like it's not necessarily true. It is in some cases, and I
well,
I do
the
make
the draft part of it, Tyler. But continue.
I feel like the reason that it can't really be compared that closely to chess is because if it was chess or even like remotely close, there would be no one who plays it, because people who are better like their win rates are notably higher, right? Like notably higher when you compare to someone that's even close, right? That's why we have these RNG units. That's why we have things like 15% resistance. That's why we have violent procs. Because without those, it really is chess, and you're just beating a dead horse because you're playing the exact same thing over and over and over and over with no differences, no chances. And if you go into it expecting something different, it's just clinical insanity, right?
Right. Well, what
That's
I'm
why I
saying
find it really
is, I'm
hard
I'm
to
talking about, the
really-
draft. The draft portion of it is like chess, not so much the gameplay. But I feel like the game should still involve some kind of fucking brain skills, some kind of strategy. Like there's so many units that make you have zero strategy or zero concepts or have ideas of how to play this game. You know, I literally play this game for. You're telling me I play this game for almost what 7 years now, right? And I should only have like a 53% win rate. Is there nothing wrong with that? I mean, I'm telling you, I cannot win, and it's very few of my losses I'm actually losing. You know what I mean? And I accept all the losses that I lose. I don't accept getting luck sacked. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous that you could have the same win rate as me. Because I swear to God, if you pick Leo, Diana, Verde, and Antares, you will have above 50% win rate. Every game, you will have an above 50% win rate.
I think you're right. I think like if you're drafting like WaterRyu and Changpeng, you're really asking for the Juno and the Verdes and the Leos, man.
Yeah,
Right?
but I'm saying if you pick those units into every comp, which
Yeah.
is what people do to me, you will have above 50% win rate. So
I think,
I'm trying to have the same win rate, but they're not trying and they have the same win rate.
Can I bring up a point really quick?
Sure.
When it comes to just before you wanted to talk, Thompson, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was
there's-
just going to tell him that like Jeogun will solve a lot of his problems. I trust
with those
agree.
comps that people draft into you like every single game, right? Because first of all, they're obtainable options. Well, most of them are more obtainable than other things. Second of all, they use runes that nobody else uses. And third of all, when you actually run like statistics on those, when you look at the chances to land things, and then also the chances for these people to like get a revenge proc or an Antares proc or a Diana proc or anything, it actually evens out really close to like where you're talking about. So when you say like these people have like slightly above 50% win rate, I entirely believe you because statistically it should be like that. Yeah.
Right, which is fine. But my question is, should I have a 53% win rate with the knowledge and the experience and the units? And you could say my runes aren't great, but they are definitely not bad. Okay. I should not have a 53% win rate.
The reason I think that you have that win rate is because you are purposefully gimping yourself, though, right? You've openly said, I refuse to use Verde under any circumstance. So you have openly chosen not to use one of the strongest counters in the game, right? So you're like instantly gimping your win rate chance and your drafting ability.
Okay, all right. I think like there's a lot of people that think that if you just take first turn, you win the game. And yes, this meta is really like that. But it's really easy to take first turn in this meta because like there's like Triton and Eshier, and also like you could pick like Leo that kind of takes first turn and then you go. But just not always taking first turn wins you the game, you know. So like if you're not taking first turn, you have to figure out how to beat the first turn comps as well. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Right, but I'm okay with losing to not being first turn. You understand? I'm not saying that. If Ryu strips me clean and Oki stuns me and I lose, okay, I'm okay with that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with fucking stupidity. You understand? I'm not okay with Diana going 6 times. I'm not okay with Antares going 6 times.
Yes.
And I'm okay if you drafted it. And I'm even okay when you draft it like at a good moment strategically.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm okay. When you just fucking pick it out of the blue and you win a game, bro, like that's what tilts me. They preemptively pick shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you never seen a first pick Vertihile?
I get it. You're right.
They preemptively pick stupid shit and then they win.
Yeah.
Right. And then I look like an asshole losing to a C2 that started playing last week. Right. And then now I lost to him. Because why? Because he just picks the lucky units. You know,
Well,
it's stupid.
I'm going to say this though. Like, well, this season specifically, I have not seen anyone first pick Verde, but that's me. That's mine. I actually do agree with you. There are people do that, but I have not personally seen it.
I don't think people first pick Verde, but you get the Verde out whenever you pick like units like the Tritons or the Chungpungs. Oh, Verde's coming out, you know, like that you're gonna see that unit for sure.
Like I first pick WaterRyu a lot, like this season, and then past season 2, and then I switched to Oki in season 16. But then they, yeah, like they would counter with the Verde, or like the other is they just pick WaterRyu against me first, or
It's
they
really
steal
tough
Jeogun.
Not only WaterRyu does good against Verde. I mean, obviously Verde's not the problem. Like Patrick just said, it's like no one can take enters proccing 9 times with Dana. But then also like Haegang is like really good stripper right now. He is a speed lead in himself, you know? And
he's a really good stripper. But again, the problem with Haegang, and I've used it again, the problem with Haegang is that he's not impactful enough outside of the strip. He just does nothing for the rest of the game, pretty much. You get it? And when units don't do anything, they are very hard to use.
What he does is he's like a speed lead and a stripper. He's like WaterRyu. But as the game goes on, his passive kicks in because you get bar when they cleanse, and you also, if you have immunity up and they cleanse it, you get bar as well.
Well, what if you don't? Okay, usually first turn units don't have cleansing abilities. No, I'm just saying that was like because like Haegang, I get Pat's point because he is kind of useless.
Of course, I do too. Yes.
Yeah.
But like Haegang, like if the opponent picks like Jeogun or like Changpeng or something like that, Haegang does everything, you know? Pushes that bar up, strips, you know, like Haegang's awesome.
Push back.
Mm-hmm. On top of that, like there's synergies with Haegang and like Masha or Haegang with like whatever unit that like does AoE strip, you know, you just Haegang and you win the game, you know? Haegang, Oki, Masha, you have a damage dealer, you have attack bar booster, it's all good. So I honestly feel like one of the best strippers in the game. It's like I've been losing to really fast Barbaras as well. Like Barbaras is not bad as well. So Barbara, Haegang, you know, WaterRyu, best strippers right now are all water, in my opinion.
I should probably look into definitely my Haegang.
Really worth it.
Haegan's cool. I really want him. I think he's the one unit that enables people to actually pick turn 2 if they have to.
Yes.
Now, would you put him on Despair though? A fast Despair set.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
If you have a very fast one, sure.
Patrick.
I think you have to.
Everything's better than Swift if you have a fast version of the regular ones.
I don't think he has enough pressure on any other set outside of Despair.
Yeah.
I mean, like you violence, like
glancing.
Glancing again, you push back attack bars. Like it's not enough.
I mean, glancing is really good when it works. It always lands. It's just that do they actually glance when they hit you is what it comes down to. But glancing is not a bad debuff by any means. It's a very strong debuff, you know. And the fact that his first skill has the thing push, you know, like it's kind of good. You know, it's not a dead first skill. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like he doesn't do enough impactful things. I feel like unless you're talking what Thompson said, where they have a team of cleansers and stuff like that, then he has a lot more use later on in the game. You know, but if you use him just as a stripper, he's kind of worthless. You know.
I also want to say there's 2 light and dark units that are a little bit OP in this meta right now. I'll admit. Okay, the first one is Light Monkey King, LMK. All right, he's really OP. And then the second one is Pontos. He's also really OP.
Just the third one is Narsha.
Oh, get out of here,
She's
man.
very OP. Recently buffed.
Narsha's good.
Recently buffed Thompson unit, by the way. Just wanted to point that out there real quick. But Narsha is really good.
Have you had Narsha for a year sitting in storage? If you are one of those
owners... No, but I've had Jara in storage for 5, so can I complain now?
No, Jara did get buffed.
Yeah, real great. Absolutely greatest unit in the world. 200 defense. Perfect unit.
Look, if Jara got... Oh, you say Jara or the other one, the light one?
Jara.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't mind the Jara.
Shut up. I've always say things like that to upset me, bro.
Well, he likes dungeons fast.
Look, I actually want the dark vampire too. I have uses for him.
Yeah, he wants to do that dungeon time.
Yeah,
dude, use him as an anti-Leo setup. It's actually really fun.
I actually have a perfect setup for dark vampire with double beta, but I don't have one.
Nobody cares about dungeon times. Is this 2014?
Ryujin.
Are we time traveling?
I'm just saying I'm trying to make use of stuff.
Everybody has their piece, man. Yeah, but there are a lot of units that still need buffs, like some of the light and dark Street Fighter units, like the one Patrick has, or maybe even Dark Ryu or whatever. But Light Ryu, even Dark Bison could have some consistencies. And a lot of these damage dealers, like the Art Master damage dealer, and the light one, and some of the other units are still not that good in the meta. So. I know, like summoning LD Nat 5 is supposed to feel good, and some monsters just like I know one streamer everybody heard of. His name is he always plays hip hop music, and he's on and he streams very often.
Burke?
He uses Pablo Jamayer a lot.
Got a cog?
Oh, ACOG, yeah. Yo, Celia does nothing. It does nothing. You resist, like skill 3 resist, and then skill 2 doesn't do anything. Skill 1 doesn't do anything, and just like Celia doesn't do nothing. So like there's a lot of units that need touching up on, because like the dragons, the dark dragon needs touching up on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Light Dragon too? Yes.
Light Dragon, I actually see
Better
The truth is behind LD Nat 5s is that there's actually a lot more bad ones than good ones. So the chances are when you get one, it's not going to be a good one. It's very simple. There is only probably 10 that you could say are good. Out of the 10, I would say 15 are good. Of the 15, maybe 7 or 8 are next level good. The rest are usable good. And then after that, it's all just turds. You know what I mean? You can compare your turd versus my turd. Your light dragon versus my dark phoenix. They're mostly just turds. Okay.
Aren't all Nat 5s like that? There's like a small pool of good units,
maybe,
like a huge pool of really bad units.
Maybe you're right, but like I said, but there's no there's very little prestige, like very little prestige in like regular Nat 5s. Right? Everybody's prestige is always in LDs. I want an LD5. I want an LD5. I want LD5. But chances are when you get one, it's going to be a turd. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to get a good one. And
revivers for LD5s are pretty bad too. Like the Niggongs, it's really, really bad. Like I think you could unsummon Niggong if you summon Niggong.
Yeah, Niggong is part of the turd group. Yeah.
Karaka is really bad as well.
Karaka's like a little bit is like the higher end of the turds. It's still a turd though. It's just a higher end.
I mean, at least she defense breaks, so she can't be like the
right, because she defense breaks. She's like a middle tier turd.
Yeah, revivers are really bad.
I mean, you can't say that, right? You can't say that, right, Tyler? Because Jara armor breaks, but he's like turd Maximus. You know what I mean?
I actually can't wait
he doesn't
till
turn
Tyler
rotate
gets
though,
an
at
LD.
least,
Recently,
at least Kraken gets turn.
Recently, they've been doing really good with buffs. As in, like the Volantis buff is really solid.
Yeah, I like that one.
The Beast buff was really solid, right? So recently, Pontos has been doing a really good job buffing these type of units in a really
They made Marsha usable at least.
Yeah, and totally like
Volantis is actually like completely out of turd zone, and he's actually like he's in that top. He's probably getting close to that top 7-8 I'm talking about.
I think Volantis his passive shouldn't be 50, should just be like 80.
Then he will definitely be in the top 8 people.
Kind of like WaterRyu.
Wild.
Bro, like Tyler, before you like go WaterRyu is 100%. You touch it, it's a turn, right? I don't know. I'm just saying maybe like a 60, 70. It's like people will know.
He also just gains attack bar, right? Like on everyone's turn. Like
Does he?
I don't know. I feel like his rotation is still pretty fast, even without that aspect. Like he doesn't have the strip into attack bar pushback, but he's got the glancing into what is it? Provoke, like the small provoke chance.
That's the problem with all the druids. Their provoke chance is too low. That percent is low.
I actually hate that it exists. I hate the provoke chance existing on the druids.
In Summoner's War, there's like consistency. It gets you really like frustrated when it's not consistent. Like, have you ever had games where your Verde never revenges, right? And it's like supposed to be high, but they hit it like 20 times, it hasn't revenged. And I feel like that happens with Volantis as well. If you bring Volantis into a comp where you're like, oh, I want him to do what he does, and he doesn't do what he does, and you lose a match like that, and you drop like 7 points.
But the benefits of Volantis is the rest of his kit is not completely useless. You know what I mean? Like if you're relying on Verde to revenge, he doesn't revenge, he's useless. Okay, But if Volantis doesn't revenge, he's still a strip. He's still a support unit, technically, that does pretty good damage, right? So, like, when units have multi-purpose, they're always going to be pretty good. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. Like, that he has multi-purpose. You know, skill 2 hits hard still. You know what I mean? Like, there's still use for him. So, I don't know.
Well, you know,
Yeah, no,
Volantis and triple
all I'm
revenge
trying to say is that Pontos has been doing a really good job buffing these type of units, you know. So hats off to them.
I agree. They're making a lot more units usable.
Yes. Another unit I wish they could make usable. I know I bitched about Cilia, but the worst Beast Rider right now is the Dark Beast Rider. It's really cute, but it doesn't really do much. And I hope they'll do something about Dark Beast Rider. That's the
You have a Dark Beast Rider?
Can you of course he does. Can you talk about one of Patrick's units instead of one of Thompson's units for once? So they actually do something to help me?
All the Street Fighters.
What do you have? You have a Craig. You have a
all the Street Fighters
and a Zara, or do you have anything else?
He has a Banana
Manananan, Viva Shell, Yeonhong, Jara, and Light Bison.
So 5.
5.
I think it's gonna be hard to buff a lot of those units.
Light Bison, without a doubt, is the worst LD Nat 5 in existence, and I'll explain why. It's not because I have him. I'll explain to you why it's the worst. There is no other LD Nat 5, right? No other one, I guarantee you. There is no other LD Nat 5 that helps the other team. You see what Light Bison does? He kills your team halfway for the other guy. So it's like a 6-on-3 when you use Light Bison. You know what I'm saying?
Injury. The other unit that does that is also very weak, and her name is Trinity.
Insult to injury.
Trinity can hit hard, bro. Bison does nothing and prime, and Trinity has a speed lead. Bison is slow as molasses, and he primes your team perfectly for them to finish you off.
No, there's another one too. The light rock guy.
They made Jeogun, which is like so much better than Light Bison.
That's the problem. They gave Jeogun the only perk to Bison, right, was that he has speed and attack buff. Nobody else gives that. Now Jeogun has it. So Bison's even more useless. But most importantly, Thompson was trying to, think of comps for me with Light Bison. I tried every one. All you do is you prime your team at half health for them to finish you off. It's such a beautiful thing. But you actually help the other team. It's so amazing.
Let's not be selfish, Patrick. We also have to say Dark Bison can be more consistent. Dark Ryu could be a little bit better, and Light Ryu just as well F tier as well, right?
But yeah, I'm not talking about F tier. I'm talking about helping the other team. See, Light Ryu doesn't do anything, right? He doesn't help the other team either. Bison helps the other team, bro. You're giving them a free unit.
No.
It's like you're getting Mortal Strike from the other team for free.
Yeah, Light Bison will get a buff, man. Like, I don't think you got to worry about that.
That's why you have to pull one so you can get a buff. I'm trying to explain to you that.
Not even like that. Yeah, not even like that.
Yeah, he's terrible. Yeah, but like I said, like there's bad ones, and I'm saying he's the worst because he helps the other team. No matter how bad the other one, like Jara doesn't help the other team. It doesn't help you, but it doesn't help the other team. Light Bison helps the other team. Hands down.
That's what I want to touch on is a little nerf. Do you guys think that Kinky needs a nerf or no?
No, slight, very, very small, very small.
Very small?
Just adjust the percentage on his passive a tiny bit, because I think right now it's a little bit too strong.
Yeah.
I think having a 25 is a little bit much considering you can't crit him. I think bringing it to 20% is more than fair.
I think
you can't crit him, and he guarantee revenges you if you don't hit over 25%. Like that's a lot of damage.
And he armor breaks when he revenges you. That's the problem. If you didn't armor break, it wouldn't be a problem.
People haven't figured out the way to ruin him yet, but once they figure it out, and everyone puts him on violent. Oh man, like
everyone has him on despair.
I have him on violent.
I think violent is so much better.
Once people figures it out and puts them on violent, then the whole world's gonna pretty much go to hell, either on Guild War defense or like siege defense or RTA.
It's just when you have a skill 1 defense break, like violent is so good. Because you skill 1, and then if you defense break them and you violent proc, they're going to die.
And then you skill 2. It's like
everything just dies. Then you're like, and I'm safe. Yeah. Now I have all this free endurer.
He's legit.
The armor break makes it way too aggressive,
But I don't agree with the nerf. Okay.
Why?
I think the 25.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but
no, I already know. It's okay.
No. But if
you don't agree, you can tell us from your point of view.
Like my point of view is because he actually does have a lot of counters, but mostly for okay, if you're talking about RTA, less chance to draft to counter him, but putting him on defense, just like Kaki, but even Kaki was kind of overpowered previously because of just his damage. Kinky is a lot worse than Kaki in terms of damage. It's just the fact that he lives too long. So if you bring a comp with squishy comp, obviously, like you have to bring crit to kill things, right? And you're drafting into him not being able to kill him. That's the problem. But there are
I'm
counters.
just saying, like, I don't mind it getting a buff or a nerf. It doesn't matter to me because eventually all of us are going to get him. Like, it's just a LND nat 4. You know, we're going to pull it.
Speak for yourself.
The
Thank
question
you.
is, do you want like a whole defense of kinky mollies and vigors and stuff like that, or you don't want it? You know,
Do not speak for the crowd, Thompson, by saying everybody will get one. Do not speak for the crowd, please.
I mean,
Thank you.
a chance like a 4-star, you know, LD nat LD. You know, you'll see a good amount of them, right? So it's really up to you. You want a buff or a nerf on kinky? You're gonna see it everywhere. Do you really want to see it everywhere?
Okay, so since we're talking about Kinky, somebody asked this in chat earlier, and I kind of want your opinions on it now. What do you guys think is the best Onimusha post Kaki nerf for RTA and for Siege? I think for RTA, personal opinion, I think for RTA, it's a tie between Kinky and the Dark One. The Dark One is really strong if it gets through properly, and then for Siege, I think it's still Kaki.
I like
Siege
the
is the
dark
Kaki.
one a lot because the dark one you could just stack attack buff and you're Gucci. But then the light one, if you have some like the light one synergizes really well with the second team comps. You know, you give him some type of immunity, you give him some type of heal, you give him some type of like sustain. It's gonna go crazy, you know? Like you give it ragdoll, oh my god.
You give anything ragdoll, oh my god.
Well, like
You
you know,
give cat ragdoll, oh my god. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
yes.
So here's my point about Kinky versus Kaki, right? The reason why Kaki was so that powerful, like that strong before, was his damage is really insane. Now you want to put this with Kinky, right? You want to put Kinky on a high damage, not high damage. You want to put enough stats on him, you know, like HP. So like if you put too little HP on him, even like non-crits will kind of bypass that 25%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's my point. Like you need to build him with enough HP, with enough defense, but then you're sacrificing attack because he's a purely based on attack unit.
But I would assume it's not that bad because he doesn't need crit rate, and also like it's not that bad because he deals damage through armor break, not through attack.
Well, in an RTA standpoint, right? Like you don't necessarily need him to make the kill. You need him to armor break everything. Imagine armor breaks everything into your AoE or something. You know what I mean? Like that's all you need. He doesn't have to be the assassin. He just has to be the primer. You know, kind of like what Bison does for the other team. He just has to set you up for a win. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to make the win happen, but if he sets you up, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like you're telling me a unit that revenges every turn and armor breaks everybody's not broken? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's broken.
I don't think it's too broken.
In my definition of the
good. And I would rather leave him as good.
If Ryuufin doesn't feel like he needs a buff, and I'm just saying it out of like a third person point of view, he actually owns it. And he says not that strong, then we have to take Ryuufin's word for it. Because eventually, like we're all gonna get
I didn't say he's not that strong. He's strong. I don't think he's OP. Like top tier that
all you're saying.
I don't think he's like I don't think he's Kaki level OP where he was tanky. He's a fire unit. He revenges and defense. And
that's where Kaki. Honestly, back to Kaki real quick. That's where Kaki was OP. Was not that he did not only that he did massive damage. That part is even secondary. The point is that you could use him on defense and stuff like that because he was pretty tanky as well. You understand? Now, if you want him to do damage, he still does damage. He just won't be as tanky anymore. That's really the drawback to Kaki. Like Kaki's like nerfing Kaki didn't stop anybody from using Kaki. It just drew it back to the point where now if you want him to do close to the damage he did before, he can't be a beast either defensively. You know what I mean? He has to take a beating a little bit to give a beating, which is what other units do. They give beatings, but they take beatings. He was at the point where he was giving beatings and you couldn't give him a beating. That's why he was broken.
You know what I just thought of?
What's up?
If Artemil had defense break on skill 1.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I want to say this because we're talking about buffs and nerfs, and we don't have to talk about Artemil. Like, leave Artemil out of the picture. Yeah. But all the Archangels are so bad because their skill 1 is so shit. Like if you give like Aerial or Eladriel like 3 hits on skill 1, my God, they'd be so much better. Their skill 1 is so bad. I mean, leave Artemil out of it. Artemil could stay as he is. I could see where everyone's coming from, but dude, Aerial, Eladriel, Fermion, the other colors. Oh my God, dude.
So people always talk about Fermion buffs, and I was doing like the pre-event stuff for Lost Centuria yesterday, and
Is there skill 1?
but hear me out. So the way they build units in that game is they take the whole family and like kind of combine it into one unit. So like in Lost Centuria, Artemil has like kind of the passives, like a little bit of strength from other units. But the cool thing is his active skill deals more damage based on how many buffs you strip. So I was thinking, what if they added that to Fermion? What if they gave Fermion like if you strip a buff, you deal extra damage. Or like for every buff you strip, you get a stack, and then you do more damage over time, right? Like
other than
up to
Artemil,
5 stacks or something.
Other than Artemil, like Fermion's not the problem. Like other than Artemil, the problem is Eladriel, Aerial, all of them suck because their skill 1 doesn't do nothing. Like if you ever bring it into RTA, So like if Pontos wants to buff the Archangels altogether, not Artemil, but like all the other Archangels, I think the skill 1 change will help like Eladriel, Aerial, and Fermion,
Just give them 15% attack bar pushback on skill 1.
Here's an example, like
That's decent.
Lulu versus Water Archangel, right? Why would you pick him versus Lulu? And it's because Lulu can just constantly he's literally just there to heal and cleanse, right? Heal, cleanse, immunity.
The
Heal,
only
cleanse,
reason
immunity.
you want it is because he's got a stronger skill 3 heal. But
Yeah.
Lulu heals more consistently over turns. So if you need the burst healing, Aerial makes more sense. Or if you need a stronger water tank, it makes sense. But for the most part, like you don't need those things in the game. You don't need someone with a bigger burst heal.
Yeah.
Well, Lulu, you bring Lulu into a Okeanos meta. Any other places without Okeanos, like Fran is better.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I'm just saying, like with Lulu there, right? Water Archangels is definitely in a perfectly like RTA PvP point of view, cleanse and immunity is just that much stronger than just a heal. Well, he does have cleanse now, but his cleanse is not cleanse immunity.
2 cleanses and 2 immunities. It's more than just like cleanse.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than just that.
That's why those Ragdoll Jaeger, those Ragdoll comps just bring Lulu. A max resist Lulu. Like it just sits there. It just keeps healing the Ragdoll, and then Ragdoll helps another guy, and they just heal all the
Because
time.
even if you reset it, it still heals. Like skill 1 still heals every time. So
Yeah, I just think like
a lot of free turns.
They always have a problem with Aerial. Aerial is still really bad, and Eladriel as well. So like if they want to make them better, skill 1 change would be because like all they do is skill 3, and then they sit there and do skill 1, and skill 2 is like useless because they skill 3.
I think they just don't want to like over buff. Like let's say Aerial, right? Like if they gave him the Lulu treatment, like cleanse and immunity on every skill besides skill 1, right? But would he'll be used a lot?
So skill 1 cleanse and
No, well, no, like skill 2. His skill 2 is just a purely like 50% heal, right? It's a same as Lulu's, a heal, cleanse, and immunity for 1 turn, and then skill 3 instead of just adding more, like
that won't
healing.
fix the Aerial problem. That will not fix the Aerial problem.
Why wouldn't it? It would just be a nat 5 Lulu.
No, it won't fix the Aerial problem. Lulu will still be better than Aerial.
Why is that? He'll have the same as like
Aerial doesn't give immunity on skill 3.
No, I'm just saying, give him some immunity on skill 3, and wouldn't he be the same as Lulu?
He'll just be Lulu, right?
Yeah,
Why don't you just get rid of Lulu? That just makes no sense.
That's my point. Like why are they? If they could just do that,
because they're making the game more friendly for free-to-play new people. That's exactly why Lulu is better than Aerial. It's that simple. Because everybody could have a Lulu from the magic shop. Not everybody could have an Aerial ever in their lifetime.
Yes, Patrick, but think about it. Imagine you're free to play and you summon an Aerial. Feels bad, man.
It feels even worse.
Yeah.
It feels even
bad,
worse.
man.
Right. But if Aerial was very good, right? And
Yes.
you're free to play and you'll never get one, but you can get a Lulu for free. Feels good, man. No?
I'm telling you, they're doing a lot of stuff to help free-to-play players. Like the recent events, the Fusion events.
Look how many scrolls you get, dude.
Yeah, yes.
And all these things come out after I don't need nothing, right? Ancient Transcend comes out when I have full Pokédex.
Yes,
Hit the Monster comes out when I have full Pokédex. Unlimited summon storage comes out when I have full Pokédex. When I'm summoning 9,000 scrolls a month, I get nothing. I don't summon anything now. I get everything. It's amazing. It's a miracle. Everything I ask for comes out when it's too late. But it's great for new people. I like it for the new
people. A new 7-year special scroll for free-to-play players, and it's such an amazing event. Because I don't know if you're free-to-play or pay-to-play, like whoever I'm talking to, but like there was a time when people are spending like thousands of dollars just to get skill ups for the twins. But even nowadays, if you're free to play, you are trying to summon skill ups for the twins, but you could do it with those scrolls.
But Thompson, think about what they're doing, right? And people, if you on the Facebook pages and you see people still complaining, it is unbelievable how ungrateful and sick these people are. Okay, forget about skill ups. They're letting you pick the Nat 4 you want, bro. You know how many thousands people spent on getting Verde, Lucian, stuff like that? They're letting you pick the one you want, okay? Then they come out with these scrolls, and then these ungrateful animals are all like, I summoned 100 something of these 7 years, and I got no Nat 5. Oh, really? You summoned 100 scrolls, bro. What about the 1,000 I summoned last week and get a Nat 5? Is that okay? You know what I mean? They don't understand. You know, they don't see what the game was, and they're still complaining on what the game is. You know what I mean?
Patrick, you know you don't have to summon Vertihill now. Now you could get it free from the event.
Fusion. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Even besides that, look at there's 2 events a year, bro, that let you pick 2 Nat 4s or 1 Nat 4 of your choice.
Yeah. But you can also skill up their Belgear or their like Veromos and like
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you know how hard it was for us to just, and we were pay players, right? Everybody here was somewhat of a pay player. Even as a pay player, you know how hard it was to build a Veromos? You know how much blood, sweat, and tears went into Veromos? Now you just get it for free.
I also feel that it's very positive for the community for them to make that Amazon tournament that's like C3 and below. That's like, yo, you don't have to, you have a tournament to look forward to
in game. If you guys haven't seen it, they just announced that tournament.
That's why I'm speaking about it. That's why I'm able to talk about it.
There's the Amazon tournament season 5 signups are live in game. So if you guys haven't seen it already, go check it out on the event tab.
Maybe they should do one for like every tier, like C1, C2, and C3.
They'll get but
that's a lot of work.
You need the wallet for that as well, because like I think Amazon's giving out free coins or something. Like
it's a lot of coins if you win.
Yeah, like you want them to get
100,000 coins
from,
Oh. That's not bad.
It's $1,000 in value. Yeah,
I mean, $1,000 for Amazon is nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for somebody rich like you, but for the guy that spent $14.99 in the game in the last 5 years,
I'm saying
$100
for Amazon, money, right? For Amazon specifically giving out $1,000.
Well, technically, for Amazon specifically giving out 10 million wouldn't cost them anything. It's digital currency. You know what I mean? It could cost them shit. But at the end of the day, if you're free to play and you snap this thing off, you pretty paid.
You're pretty paid. I think it's very possible for free-to-play players to join the Amazon tournament. It's really healthy, very positive.
I think everybody should join. I'll be honest, it's very hard to win because in every level of this game there are Smurfs, and Smurfs are very strong. Smurfs come from all different walks of life. Smurfs come from all different places in the world, so it's very hard to win. I'll be honest. I know personally the winner of the last one.
Who won the last one?
Sunny won the last one.
Oh.
Sunny? Wait, is it the Sunny I know?
Sunny, but not the Sun, not the G3 Sunny account, the C3 Sunny account. But the C3 Sunny account that is G3 level though. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. You get it?
Sunny? Yeah.
Because
the black stuff.
Because you could turn a C3 account into like a G2, G3 account just by swiping the credit card a little bit. You know what I mean?
It has the black and white stuff, right?
Yeah, it has the black and white stuff.
All right.
So I have a question for Tyler. If you got a LD Nat 5, which one do you want the most?
Which one do I want the most? For content or to actually like try to get good at the game?
What do you want the most? It doesn't matter.
Probably Gianna. I've just always liked Gianna. My first emote ever on Twitch was a Gianna emote.
For me, it would be Gianna and Hephaestus. But the truth of the matter is, the best one for my account is still going to be Ragdoll. He's just a little boring because Ragdoll's the best for everybody's account. And so it's a matter of want or the matter of helpfulness, right? Or effectiveness. But I would want a Nephthys Gianna because it's more fun. But the truth is, Ragdoll just makes everybody's account naturally a little bit better.
How about you, Ryujin? Which
I
one
don't
do
know what I
you?
would want for fun though. It's hard to think.
If it's for fun,
No, like not for fun. Just you want. Who
Ragdoll.
wants for fun?
Well, for fun, I would pick
I
Lucifer
don't want for
or
fun.
like
Well, Lucifer would be fun. Yeah, I agree. Lucifer would be fun.
Lucifer and Oberon.
He said Ragdoll.
Like,
He said
Yeah,
Ragdoll.
but like for like overall everything
Oh,
to
serious.
improve everything, it's Ragdoll obviously. But like
Okay.
but like if I got a Lucifer or I got Oberon or I got Dark Oni, I would love that.
What about you, Thompson?
I think I'm on the same boat as how to play, and
He
we're
wants
both
Peter.
our accounts are missing, and I'll keep playing Summer's War until I pull one, the Ragdoll.
Yep, makes sense. I mean, Ragdoll's insane, right? Like, it's John and Nefty's Ragdoll. You want one of the three. Like, everyone wants one of those three or all of them.
Wait, no, I don't think so, because I know a lot of people that wants Tian Lang. You know, I know a lot of people that want other units.
Right, because people that want Tian Lang, you know what it is, right? Those are the people that watch those Kenji videos. You know what I'm saying? The ones that when everything works videos.
I want a Tian Lang
Like,
for arena.
like
I know
Tian
that sounds
Lang,
weird.
when he doesn't work, he just doesn't work and he does nothing. You know that, right? Like Tian Lang is very exciting to a certain degree, and that's it.
I think Tian Lang's really, really good in this meta, but okay. No, yes, Patrick.
Again,
Like,
his passive steals the turn. If he gets the turn and he does nothing, then what does Tian Lang do?
I know you have Yeonhong and Tian Lang doesn't work too well with Yeonhong, but like all the problems you face, either Ragdoll or Verde, goodbye. See you
Listen,
never.
yeah, I understand. Tian Lang is very good versus me right now. It's very good versus me all along. That's not the point. My point is that even when he gets the turn, right, when he does nothing with it,
I think
he's
that's why
not
a lot of
all
people are
that
running
impactful.
their
You
additional
understand?
damage right now too.
I
'Cause the
think
multihitters, they're running a lot of additional. And
he got buffed, and also he's on despair, so he's more consistent now. Yeah.
He's definitely
Also-
not bad. Don't get me
also
wrong. He's
Ragdoll
in that
is
top 8 of gods. You know what I mean? He's in the top 8
I
gods.
like how you said that.
He is.
Correct.
He's in my top 8 for sure. I'm just saying, like, he's not as amazing as people want to make him look to be, you know?
As good as he is, I don't want him as much. I want Ragdoll, and you know who my second monster I want the most?
Peter.
Is it light or dark?
No.
Is
All
it light or
wrong.
dark?
Huh?
Wait, let me guess.
Is it light or dark?
Light.
I think. Oh, then
Oberon?
Yeonhong is in it.
Just all wrong. All right, Ryujin, you get a guess.
Pontos.
Oh, I think I know what it
Yes,
is now.
Pontos.
Oh, damn it. It's a speed lead, isn't it?
Pontos is good.
It was Pontos
Pontos
or
is
Atlantis
really
after I
busted right
said
now.
Oberon.
Yeah, Pontos is really busted right now. He's honestly really, really busted.
There's I played in a tournament this weekend, and there's a guy, the Gundam guy. He has Pontos. Oh my god, you guys! I got wrecked so hardcore by Pontos.
For me, there's nothing more frustrating when someone picks Pontos and Juno in the same like two spots. I'm just like, okay, well, I have to play against Pontos or I have to play against Juno to make a choice.
So good. He's so bad.
See how no one talks about buffing Hurtits? See, I think he should
Okay,
get
he had
buffed
a
a lot
buff,
more.
right?
What?
Did he get a buff?
No, he got a nerf,
Oh, okay. All right.
but he's got a nerf for PvE.
You see how Ryujin only talks about buffing his units and not nerfing his units?
Well, my units did get nerfed.
Stop it. You have Han. You have Nephestus. You have Artemiel. You are not allowed to speak about buffs or nerfs ever.
It's funny because all you want is buffs. You never talk about nerfs. You only talk about buffs. And the rest of us are like, this should be nerfed. This should be nerfed. This should be changed.
Because
You're
I'm on
just
I'm
you're
on
this
that side
positive
of,
guy. You're like, I want buffs.
I like
everyone to be
when
happy.
everyone's stuff gets buffed because then we'll see like whose buffed units are buffer.
That's
You know?
true. But before
Yeah.
they touch your Heritage or before they touch your Artemil, they gotta touch up like Haegang or
Oh
like
no, of course. I
Stelia.
agree.
Dark
a lot of
Light
things need to get
Bison,
buffed.
Dark Bison, Light Ryu, Dark Ryu.
But Dark Bison's not okay. Maybe he's not as good with
No,
that. He's not terrible.
He needs more consistency.
A little bit more, yeah. A little bit more.
Same with
See,
He's a
Dark
Fermion
Ryu.
buff.
I don't
What?
disagree that
Fermion.
other stuff needs to get buffed. I agree. A lot of stuff needs to get buffed. I'm actually happy. I wish Chara got buffed, more buffed. The light one, forgot its name. Needs to get buffed too.
Craig?
Eludia.
needs to get buffed.
Oh, you said
Uh,
Phoenix. I thought you said you said Bison.
I think Light Ryu needs to get buffed pretty badly because Light Art Master kind of just overshadows him. Really?
Like Ryu is so bad.
He's bad.
Yeah, but he deserves to be bad because he looks so cool.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He just
You know,
looks so
I don't
good,
know
bro.
any other.
Come on, Ragdoll looks really cool. You can't tell me that
No,
logic works.
I'll tell you
Ragdoll
what,
looks really
oh,
cool.
The most electrifying move in the whole game is when he goes Denjin. He charges the fucking fireball up and he throws it at you. That's the most
That's
electrifying.
why I just said he looks so good. He doesn't deserve a buff.
Oh, he does have rhythm. Ooh.
Even the voice for it is cool, you know?
Look, what
I
he
always forget that they voice those characters.
Yeah.
needs, like,
Should turn it back on.
they need to up
Play with sound off, baby.
skill 3's damage needs to just be up by a lot because it just does nothing.
Well, no. Oh no, Ryujin, do not buff the damage for skill 3. Do something else, not damage, please.
Okay, so what do you think he should get? Well, what do you think? Like he should be like a new kit, or he should
No.
just change something else?
No, if like skill 3 does something like AoE and something else, AoE attack bar pushback, AoE strip, AoE, you know, it doesn't need more damage. Please don't add more damage to the third
Or
skill.
how about like an AoE, but it's like a very it's a static damage that goes through everything. Like
No.
Skogul. Here's the example, Skogul.
No more damage. Just give it some type of utility. You know,
Well,
make
that's
it
a different utility. It bypasses a lot of things that would usually like prevent things from killing.
See, here's the
It
difference.
better have damage like
Doesn't it already do that?
Ryuji's
doesn't- no, it
already
doesn't.
damage.
It ignores.
Thompson has the comps that utilizes all kinds of debuffs and utilities, so he looks for that. That's all. It's just different people's play.
Ryujin, then they better give it damage like Illusion. Like skill 3 is like Illusion. Okay, cool. Do it.
Oh, yeah, like AoE ignore, just like Lucian.
What if they gave him like a ally attack bar push on skill 3? Would that be enough for you?
Yes.
Because I mean, he's got the skill 2. He's got the skill 2 strip as well.
Yes.
What
Absolutely.
if they made Light Bison not kill your team?
Yes, I agree with that as well.
I don't know why that's 50%. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't
Yeah,
understand
take
why that's
some.
that's
Don't
a
take
lot.
50. No, look,
That's a lot.
I'll just make one comment real quick. You
Make
could
it.
take 50% of my life, right? But give him like 140 base speed. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So at least you're guaranteeing you're going first. He's slow as dirt, so you almost can't get the first turn. So you prime yourself, you're already toasted, and then you toast yourself even more for the finish.
Why doesn't he just take his own HP? Like, why does he have to take everybody's HP?
Doesn't HP heal himself?
But
Doesn't that's what
hold
it
your
do?
hand slowly and then bring it back.
Oh,
Like
got
just
it.
like give it a second to focus.
How do you know what I was doing?
I saw you tapping the camera.
Oh. Sorry, Ryujin, what you say?
I think I just made a comment that I wasn't
Oh.
sure what I said.
Oh, I think they all just need to touch up on units that are single target altogether and that hits one time, you know? It's just like with artifacts, it makes like I know the vampires hit like twice, but it makes like vampires really bad. It makes Jaeger, I feel like is unusable. Some people still make it work like True Whale. But yeah, like, you know, those units aren't that great.
So honestly, I just after talking about the Light Ryu, I think if he got AoE ignore defense skill 3 that buffs himself with attack, that would be so good. Because
He should
Lucian
buff
is
himself with attack first, not afterwards.
doesn't he do that right now?
No.
No,
He
yeah.
buffs
Colette
if
finishing
it's
increase attack
killed.
buff for 2 turns, then shoots. That's what he does. He buffs himself with attack, then shoots the skill 3. Yeah,
Am I tripping? Do I just not use him?
you don't use him. I'm pretty sure I've seen him buff attack and then shoot. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
I
He
just
doesn't- you
not
don't need to
use him.
bring an attack
Okay,
bar.
all right,
buff
all right, you're right.
We're
Cool.
talking about Talisman or Light Ryu.
Yeah, so he'll be the second unit that has an AoE ignore defense skill. Because Lucian's the only one in game.
Okay.
And then it'll be nice because he's rare and obviously giving everyone ignore defense AoE skill. But like, well, every player with an AoE like ignore defense is kind of broken because that's why Lucian's broken. But Light Ryu's not
I don't
bad.
know about
The reason why they could do it with Lucian is because he's wind. You can combat that by bringing fire. You cannot combat a light unit that ignores defense.
I don't know about that.
How do you stop that, bro? You lose guarantee. You give him that buff, you lose guarantee.
I mean, not everyone has them. It's
What if they
nice.
just added his skill 3?
All right, so once you get him, you should never lose a game again. That's fair.
I mean, people have Lucian and they lose. I'm just saying, they're.
Well,
they're
look
I
what
mean,
you're saying, Lucian.
you would have to. You would have to lower his skill 3 damage, right?
You have a sick mind, man. I don't even agree with you.
Okay, what if they just lower the damage enough? Just like Lucian doesn't do like insane amount of
then
damage.
you would say he doesn't do enough damage. He ignores defense now. He doesn't hit
still
hard
ignores
enough to kill
defense.
you. You would
That's
still
still-
complain. Nothing's gonna make you stop complaining
there's a
until
there's a
Ryu
fine
one
line.
shots everything alive.
I want you guys to know that no matter what
think
happens,
that's funny?
I've
If
come
you
to
think-
realize that Ryujin always wants to one-shot everything and have the highest possible damage that exists.
But Tyler, that's what I was talking about. That's why him and Thompson are
respect it,
arguing
though.
because
I respect
Ryu's
it, though.
mindset is one-shotting,
No, well,
right?
do you think
Thompson's
oh,
is
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like they could give it attack buff and immunity. I'll be happy to everything. Anyway, the only thing that's funny how they buff all the Bisons except for a light one, I think. Right? And then last patch, I think they buffed all the Beast Riders except for the Dark one. I hate that. Feels really bad for like the other user, where they buff all the Beast Riders, but then like the Dark Beast Riders left out, Are we muted?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, didn't all the Bisons get buffed? Like skill
I
2?
mean, like you're also saying all the Bisons got buffed except the light one, yeah.
Except for the light one, yeah. That's such a feel bad moment.
Wait, did he not get buffed? I thought he did.
No, when I saw the balance patch, bro, the minute I didn't see light Bison, I stopped reading the rest.
Like a Bison
I don't know
Bison-
anything else that happened.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything else that happened. Once I read that there was no light Bison word on there, I didn't even look at it anymore.
Speaking of which, the water bison buff was not good. Yeah, it was bad.
Well, a lot of buffs aren't good. Let's face
Yeah,
the facts. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you could say they tried. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things get buffed and they're not good. But at least they thought of it. Like it's not even hasn't even been thought of yet. You know what I mean? That's my problem.
I hate it when Comptours try and then they just stop. Do we all have those units?
Yeah, of course.
Like Patrick's Banananan. They just try and they're gonna stop, and you just put Banananan in storage and never touch it again because they stopped. Yo, Gilnir?
Well, Jar's another one, right? They did buff it.
Yeah.
And then
Are you just
they
Gilnir?
did nothing,
I get it. Ryujin's Gilnir, they're gonna touch it and they're never gonna touch it again. Good luck. Bye. See ya.
Don't say that. It's
No,
happening.
I just said-
but
It just
that's the
came
good
out of my
thing. It's a good thing if they haven't touched it yet, because there's a chance they'll touch it and it'll be good. If they already touched it, you're dead.
Oh, such a feels bad. Like
Every
Patrick-
once in a while, you get lucky because you get that
Yeah.
unit that gets touched like 8 times.
Yeah.
And eventually
Yeah.
it becomes a god. It just becomes a god.
like the Daphne service, right?
Poseidon.
Daphne, you have water monkey.
Poseidon got buffed so many
Poseidon.
times. Ethna got buffed so many times. Like
Light
they
Monkey
just
too, right?
Light Monkey. Yeah, no,
Wait,
they
no,
nerfed Light
Light
Monkey
Monkey
first
once,
before they
once.
buffed him. They made a change to him.
No,
which
but he
was
got
an old
touched. I'm
character.
saying. You see, you're missing my point. He
True.
got touched.
True. I see what
They
you
did
mean.
touch him.
Yeah.
Some things get touched; they never get touched again.
That's the worst feeling ever. They're like, okay, we're gonna buff him. Like, I know you guys think Narsha is OP, but like Narsha really needs to have a little bit attack bar pushback. We're talking about like 10% or whatever. But anyway, Narsha, they're never gonna touch her again. I'm gonna have to live with
I don't
this
know if you
entire-
guys watched the tournament last weekend. My only comment on Narsha is I watched Thompson's Narsha hit a Praha, and the Praha went from 100% health to about 10%, and then that same Narsha violent proc and finished it with skill 1. And I don't have a unit that takes Praha from 100% to 10. Me personally, I don't have one of those, but I saw Narsha do it. So in my opinion, Narsha, could she use something else on her kit? Yes, probably. But if you're talking about just sheer damage, like Ryujin likes, her sheer damage is pretty ridiculous. That's my point.
Self-defense breaking damage dealers are pretty good.
Yes,
Kinky, by the way.
self-defense breaking damage deals are very good, correct.
But he doesn't do that much damage.
Oh god, here we go again.
But I really like the Dark Uni though. I kind of want one. He does. I fought one and then he.
I fought one that one-shot my whole team
Yeah,
pretty much.
and one shot my whole team. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Speaking
I didn't expect that.
Speaking of this, I don't want to stop. There's one more thing I have to bring up for my friend Patrick here. In this meta, they could bring back the old Viva Chill that doesn't sleep herself. Fair?
And you still can't
Yep.
use her.
Yo,
The
you can't.
Only you can still use her if she violent procs. Then okay, it's good.
No.
If she can't, like her not violent procking, like she's just too slow, man. Like this is not the meta for something slow that single hits.
No, I mean,
single
like,
attack slow is tough.
Slow grants immunity and has a good body, like good stats, and also the third skill deals damage even though she's a healer. I like it. The only thing is they nerfed her and they never revert her back because now the meta shifted and it's time for her to go back. You know, she doesn't need to sleep anymore. 100%. You know. Yeah. Just to back you up, Patrick, I 100% like feel like they at least should revert her back to the way it was. Same
She's
with
too weak right now. And honestly, units that self-sleep are very tough to use, you know, like even like Praha. Praha's such a cool kit, right? But the fact that she sleeps herself and it delays one turn of all her cooldowns, like that's the problem with this game. The thing with this game is most units need to rotate their cooldowns. And the fact that you self-sleep, you're CCing yourself and you're losing a turn of cooldowns. It's not a big deal. You lose a turn of going. It's a big deal. You lose a turn of cooldown. That's the big problem. You know what I mean? Losing a cooldown turn is huge, bro. Huge in this game.
I mean, you could argue that the only way you could use Viva Chell is to bring in a combo with her so she doesn't sleep herself. But the problem with that is that she's already immunity. So what do you want Viva Chell to do? Just bring a whole team of immunity? Like bring 2 immunity? Bring like Josephine immunity? So like I think I think you definitely need to take out the sleep yourself thing, you know. Tableau, he definitely needs to retain his stun himself skill, but not Viva Chell.
Yeah. But the thing about Tableau is he just procs out of his own stun anyway, so
you can't proc out of your own sleep if you end the turn slept or stunned. That's why Despair Revenge you can't proc.
Yeah.
I thought it was I'm wrong.
So Tableau, the reason why Tableau is okay that it sleeps is because most people would run it with Jemire. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And Tableau,
also because he just takes
Tableau, right? You could just give your team the full turn, you know. So it's kind of a big deal that he sleeps himself.
It's pretty strong. He just goes a million times.
Oh, so
he goes a billion times.
A billion.
Are there any other units you think they nerfed that you need to bring them back?
Leica.
Oh, but they buffed Leica. And Leica with artifacts. Molly? You feel like Molly, they need to bring back Molly? Vigor?
I don't know about Vigor. I think Molly could come back and it still wouldn't be that impactful. It would be better for like some things, but it would be...
There's enough bar population in this game that Molly's not as broken as people think she is if you know how to play against Molly. If Molly's picked early, you should never lose to Molly, even pre-nerf. If Molly's a 5th pick, there is times you have to ban it, you know? Just like nobody first picks like Leona, right? If you first pick Leona, you could deal with Leona. If they last pick Leona and your team has no armor break or no bomb or no attack break, you cannot mess with Leona at all. She's a must ban, you know?
I actually feel like Molly is at a good spot right now, but only because like in G3 you play a lot of those comps. Once they lose the speed meta to you, like you pick a WaterRyu, then you go Ragdoll, Juno, Molly, and it's like kind of hard to deal with that if you don't have like 2 or 3 damage dealers, attack buff, CC, stuff like that, you know? So I do like where Molly's at right now. Huh?
That could be I'm trying to think of who is nerfed that could be brought back.
They did nerf Viva Chell's sister, Cilia, and they definitely
they bug fixed it.
They bug fixed,
Yeah, she was bugged.
I don't know.
She was performing higher than she was supposed to be performing.
I suddenly hear a Thompson unit again.
Well, which LD unit don't I have that needs a buff? Like, come on, there's a lot. So yeah,
Jara.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Jara's ever going to be good in RTA.
Huh?
I don't think Jara will ever be good in RTA. Just like they've resigned the fact that the unit is going to be an anti-revive unit, and that's just not like that's not a mechanic that we care about in RTA. Really, like some sort of like extinction execution mechanic doesn't really it's not relevant in RTA.
All right, I hate to stop this, but it seems like Stoic needs us out of the podcast.
Oh.
So
okay.
Production teams.
Last thing. Does anyone want to say anything else before we leave?
thank you everybody for hanging out with us, and let us know if you have any questions.
Right.
Different ways to find us. So let us know if we can help you with anything. We're always here
You
to
guys know
help.
how it is. Okay,
We're
two
always
things.
here to help.
One, thank you for being here for week 9. I appreciate all of you guys coming on short notice. It does mean a lot to me. Can you guys please send me a picture, like a headshot of you for the thumbnail? Because it's really terrible trying to rip one from the VOD of the podcast. And the last thing is, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, make sure to leave a comment in the podcast, in the YouTube comments below, and then I'll respond to all of them. So
right.
thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. I know we said an hour, but we kind of just continued on. So thank you so much for being here. And big thanks to Stoic. Sorry we kept you too long.
What's up, Steppy? Good luck, Stoic.
But it
Goodbye,
was fun.
guys.
It was a fun podcast.
See you
I had
guys.
fun. Good guys. Later, brothers.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.